Live from 4 million miles above the sun comes Scenic Universe episode 003, Allegiance. So we're here. We're the hottest band
in the universe.
Yes, the hottest podcast.
I mean, a podcast is kind of like a band, right?
Get the band together. We're podcasting tonight. Yeah, there's no difference.
Dude, there's microphones involved. Pretty sure it's a fucking band. Anybody who's out there who's making a podcast, welcome to the band.
Oh, you think your band's good? Do they have a podcast too?
Didn't think so.
Didn't think so. No. Oh, your podcast is cool? Does it have a band? No. Also didn't think so. Sorry.
Yeah, also wrong.
No, seriously though, we are Scenic Universe. I'm Tyson Torrance. And
I am Alexander Beacon.
And we're here to comfort you a little bit from your crazy week that we all had, and hopefully next week will be a little less crazy.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening anytime soon. I really don't.
Non-stop bullet train. Yep. Yeah, you're right.
Can I just give a shout out to whoever figured out that 40 hours a week was the magic number to make me feel like I'm working towards nothing?
So like 35,
dude,
like, okay, and then
32, because isn't the threshold like 29 before they can't give me health insurance anymore? So,
oh yeah,
so 33. Hey.
Sounds good. I could handle that. Would not be making enough money, but that would be nice.
Yeah, well, okay, so
that's what you're saying.
Lower my hours, raise my wage, right, and give me the same amount of money, and I'll probably be just as productive.
Sound like a Bernie bro. Bruh.
Socialism?
Is that what you want,
socialism. You inviting socialism into the country? You saying you want more for doing less? How dare you?
You just get more like socialist as you get older. Is that like an old man kind of thing?
See, isn't that the opposite though? Because like, aren't you supposed to get more Republican the older you get?
Yeah, that's what I've always heard.
Whoa.
You like grow up as a Democrat, and as you get older, you turn into a Republican. That's the the one I've heard.
Yeah, because I mean, I noticed it in myself graduating college and just being like, yeah, those liberal pussies, they definitely don't deserve what they have. They don't even know.
That's just bitterness. That's not like.
Hey man, I'm making a wage now, okay? They're living off the government.
So I don't know. Yeah, what's the progression? It's like you're born as a nihilist because you don't give a fuck because you're a kid, you're a little baby.
It's an allegory of the cave, but
yeah.
Like the cave is a vagina.
And the people just get stuck in those different spots in their life. Like, you know, when you're a teen, you're like a hardcore libertarian where the system, my dad's always doing this, my mom's always down my back, man. We need less government, we need less parents. So like you're a teen. And then
less parents is more of the argument at the time.
Yeah.
Because parents are the government at the time.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And then you get to, a little bit older, and you're just a Democrat for whatever reason, because, I don't know, kids like to party, and so, like, yeah, I guess, the Republicans are a party as well.
Dude, their parties are lame, though.
Yeah, it's not the same, though.
Like, a Republican party is, like, they have, like, those giant solo cups for giant beer pong, but it's full of, like, Bud Light. They got, like, the 100-pack rack for no reason.
So, my friend was telling me that he went to a college party the other day, and that everyone like all had like 36 packs of beer that they brought to this party, but they were like holding them the whole time and only drinking out of their pack that they brought. Like, you know, like they're like, this is my beer, no one else paid for this.
I mean, that's a capitalist mentality, though. That's perfect.
So that probably was a Republican Party, is what is.
You can barter and trade with your own resources. It's actually perfect if you have the exact same number and like the goal is to get more beers than the other people had.
Swindle it somehow.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'll give you a shotgun of this Happy Camper.
Yeah, 2 Rolling Rocks for your Happy Camper.
Yeah.
Probably 3.
I'll take 2 Bud Lights and I'll give you 1 Bud for your regular.
Got some Nug on the side there.
Oh, right, yeah.
Nug Light for those of you out there drinking. Yeah, we're gonna shout out to undisclosed location brewery number 1 for their double white.
It's double delicious, thank you. I've had 2, so this is perfect. Double.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just really quickly address the fact that if you have ADHD, you probably shouldn't listen to this because we're just gonna be all over the place.
We have a schedule. We're trying hard to. Well, I wouldn't say we're trying hard, but we're trying some level of intensity.
Dude, life gets in the way. That's crazy.
It's always in the way. Yeah.
Life is the way.
Whoa,
man.
Whoa, man.
I mean, whoa.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on. How was your week? Was it crazy like mine?
Our time off? Yeah. This week was rough.
I think the whole world was reacting to the Trump Putin comments, the summit. I don't know.
Yeah, man. What did you think? How do you think this all is going to go down?
President Trump, overall, I thought he did great.
Really? Dude, what? That's really what you're going to say.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think?
I thought it was a train wreck. I thought it was literally supposed to be the Trump train has no brakes and it fucking derailed.
Oh no, me too. That's what I said, man.
Wait, what?
That's what I said. Play the tape back.
Dude, we have the tapes. I will play that back.
It's a podcast for a reason, so I guess we could, listen back. It's being recorded, so. I thought he did less than adequate. Told you, bro. Tape doesn't lie. Tape does not lie.
Less than adequate? That's what you're going to correct yourself to?
I don't know what you heard on that tape, dude. Play it again.
Oh, okay.
Play it
in reverse.
You played the wrong.
Say the right thing here.
No. You just played the wrong section. I think you cut it a little short there. Just play it. I think you're gonna hear the real message.
I took you out of context, is what I did.
Let me check your EQs too.
Oh yeah, it's the computer.
The bass is all screwed up. The high is all a little too low. You need to boost that mid section just a little bit. And
that's where it's at.
Just press play one more time. Just play it one more time.
All right, let's hear it.
I thought he did bad.
Yeah, bad? Yeah, I'm glad we came to the same conclusion finally.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible. Not gonna lie.
I'm just glad that it's finally coming to that point where people are realizing how horrible it is. Like, even the people... Like, this was the turning point of... where like the Republicans really got behind the message of this is dumb, like that is not acceptable and he needs to apologize. I know he doesn't like apologizing and he's got a moral aptitude against that, but
yeah, like in the Oliver Stone movie version of this era, this is going to be like the critical one of those critical moments in it where it's like the trailer moment where he'll have his walk back where he's like, I meant to say wouldn't, and that would be like the bass drop moment.
That's not the climax though. What's like the Act 2 turning point? What is that called?
Like the reversal.
Basically. It was a reversal.
The public private moment. That's maybe what you're thinking about.
The private moment?
Yeah.
I'm sure he had several private moments.
Yeah.
Well,
or something private becomes public.
It was like, okay, so he had the summit on Tuesday, right? Mm-hmm. Wednesday morning, he was supposed to have a lunch meeting with the vice president and canceled that, and then delayed his after lunch briefing for several hours so that he could lay in bed and watch cable news. Because that's how ego-driven this motherfucker is.
American dream right there.
Dude. Yeah, like if I could turn on Fox News and they were talking about nothing but me, I'd probably not like it because they're just talking about what a bad job I'm doing. Like, because what else would they be talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, seriously. Okay, so I want to get your opinion on the Russian Spygate that's going on.
Ooh, yeah.
So the female Russian spy, I guess we can call her now.
Spygate. So there's been so many Spygates though. Like this needs to have its own. There's too many gates. There needs to be a garden, spy garden. The garden of spies.
You thought the garden was intense. Wait until you get behind it and see the. Wait, let me re-say that. You thought the gate was intense. Wait until you get behind the door and see the garden.
The garden of spies. Spy garden.
Coming this fall to NBC.
2020. Yeah. No. See, perfect. You can roll with that one for days. My real question, though, is if Shanity and Ducey are the friends, does that make her the fox? Because I would totally grab that.
All right, that's a little inappropriate, don't you think? Come on.
No. I mean, what do you think I said?
I don't know. It sounded like a little sexist. I don't know, man. Like,
sexist? Yeah. I don't know if you heard what I said, but...
All right, well, fucking.
I mean, we can play the tapes back.
Play the tapes, okay? Go for it, dude. See what you got here.
My real question, though, is if Shanity and Ducey are the friends, does that make her the fox? Because foxes are sly and cunning, and women are strong and skillful.
Good one, dude. Yeah, nice save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one almost got lost in translation there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I agree with you on all of those points there, especially the Shanity. I don't think that nickname is going to stick around. Sorry.
I will say that until the end of time. Shanity, you're not even saying it right.
Oh, okay, maybe that's why I have. So, yeah, anyways, besides all that crazy stuff, I mean, I don't know. Did you at least have any relaxing point of your time off here? Yeah.
This week?
Do you have any time to like chill, find
nope.
some time?
Nope. I did undisclosed activities in our undisclosed location here all weekend.
Oh, okay. Unfortunate, yeah. Dealing with some undisclosed clients who do redacted statements. Is that where we're at now?
Yeah, redacted. So anyway, all jokes aside, what do you think about this Russian Spygate thing? Spy Garden, sorry.
I think she's probably the perfect candidate of what she was trying to do there. Like, beautiful lady trying to seduce old white men who were part of the NRA and the government of America and seduce them. Like, that's like shooting fish in a barrel, right? Like, I don't know. for who she was.
I think there's never been a more perfect time for that metaphor.
So, I don't know. I mean, I think if I had to really sum it up in a couple words, I would have to say I thought that the Director of National Intelligence and National Security Archives, has determined that this audio segment is not appropriate for public disclosure.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Yeah, well, don't quote me on that one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. That was a little harsh.
All right, let me give you a little easier.
Yeah, we need a more innocent topic.
It's a little easier. I mean, what did you think of the Queen's outfit?
Interpol has determined that this transmission does not meet the requirements of decency deemed necessary to broadcast in the European Union or territories beyond its limits.
All right, wow, okay, so what did we learn there? I don't know.
We learned that my nose is bleeding now.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't be so vulgar.
It's like 1980s adaptation of Pinocchio where, like, when you tell a lie, your nose bleeds.
That's why I don't lie.
1980s Coke drama movie loosely based on the Pinocchio fairy tale.
Yeah. Actually, Jean-Claude Van Damme's new thriller. Pinocchio Down.
Oh, God. All right, so I want to do a game. Are you ready? Would you like to play a game?
You want to play a game?
No, it's like the.
I mean, my nose is already bleeding. So.
So the name of this game is called Spin Class, and the goal is going to be to successfully spin a negative headline in favor, and we're doing the Republican Party for this edition. So
I mean, they do it all day, and if I haven't learned anything from the Republicans, it's been how to fucking spin something towards yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, it's like watching a master. They're really good at it. Like somehow they fumble through all of this.
Man, it's hard for me to give them credit for anything, but that is something they're really good at. Well, I'm gonna open
the art of the
beer.
deal. Yeah, there you go. So, for example, I could say that President Trump his hair caught fire, and then you have to do the Republican press briefing on that.
Oh, that's a hard one.
Yeah, I know, but you don't have to do that. So we have some other ones we've predetermined before this, and we're gonna crossfire these to each other. And
they got me thinking about the hair on fire.
Oh, okay.
Like that's a national treasure that's on fire at that point.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Seriously.
Like once it's
a tragedy.
Passed, like, is it gonna be kind of like the Lenin and the casket thing? Like there'll be a glass case with the orange toupee that people can visit.
That would be hilarious. The burnt orange toupee. This is how I would spin that one. For example, again, I would say, as a Republican Party, we're coming out with commemorative coins. Donald Trump's hair, never, and the back says "Never Forget," and the front is the hair on fire. Because it is a tragedy.
Coins?
It's a tragedy.
Is the U.S. Mint involved in this? Are these official tender? We came out with a $5 coin because our currency is devalued so far.
It's the shape of a 50-cent piece, but it's only 10 cents. So.
Equivalent.
Yeah.
Sold American.
Okay, so you got the idea, and
I got your dream.
I'm gonna let you go first to me.
So I get to make up a headline, and you get to spin it.
And I have 15 seconds to spin it.
Is there a timer?
No, you just give me a Ric Flair woo. When
woo! 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 I don't have any
there
nice clothes to throw at you. I'll bring those
up
next time.
Okay. You ran out, fresh out of the woos?
Fresh out of the woos, yeah. Little woozy over here.
Yeah, just give me 15 seconds. You know, it can be rough. It's supposed to be on the spot, you know? Because how often do they, how much time do they have? Breaking news happens, they have to, they need their talking points like that and snap. They need it in a hurry, so.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Coates, did you see this? Where Dan Coates was live at the Aspen forum that he was talking at? Mm-hmm. And they were like, breaking news. President on Twitter just said that we're inviting Putin to his own meeting here in the United States. And the director of national intelligence is like, wait, what? Can you say that again?
Oh, wait, what? Did he tweet this? Was this a tweet?
His reaction was just priceless, though. He was just like, wow, cool.
Anyways, like I was saying, spin, 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 spin.
Yeah. He literally had to change direction in the middle of his speech. So you're right. Yeah, less than 15 seconds sometimes.
Yeah.
At least we're getting a head start here.
Here's the format. You have to say breaking news, and then after you do your headline, you have to say, and here's the Republican Party with their comments, or at their press briefing, or whatever have you. Okay. Whatever you got. That's the scenario.
All right. Let me channel, was it like 52?
Channel 52?
Yeah, what channel is Fox News in Undisclosed Area number 2?
Yeah, it's number 2.
So 52.
Okay, channel 52, you flip it on.
Breaking news! Shanity reports Trump is selling 1/3 of the Anwar in Alaska back to Russia.
Okay, I got 15 seconds. You got to give me some Jeopardy, Okay.
Yeah, we'll just give you a fat beat.
Yeah, fat beat sounds good. Okay, give me a second here.
Okay, time.
This is Trussia.
Trump, Russia.
Can't do it. Okay, hold on.
Your task was to spit it for the Republican Party, and the word that came out of your mouth was Trussia.
Oh my god. This is Russia's land.
It was Russia's land.
They deserve it.
They sold it to us.
They sold it to us, and it was a bad deal. Let me tell you, one of the worst deals we've ever had. Huge mistake on our end. We got the short end of the staff. What we're going to do is we're going to sell this land back to Russia, and then we're going to buy it back from them at a better deal, better interest rates, better all around. We're going to have a better deal, better relationship, and it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge for us. Okay, there we go. There's my spin. Ignore the first political graph. Thank you, bye.
I'm impressed. That was good. You completely ignored all negative aspects of what was being presented to you.
Good lord. Okay. Okay. So you get to judge it. You get to give me either 1 point, half a point, or 0 point.
Wow. I'm gonna give you a full point on that one. That was good.
All right. Sounds good. All right, you ready for yours? Or you got the idea?
I don't know. That was good.
I was channeling something there. Okay. Breaking news. Covert audio just came in from the Trump Putin Russian summit. Translations come in as, "You have done a good job, Donnie. We will ensure your re-election come the next time. The sleeping eagle falls at dawn." Analysts are trying to figure out what all this means. Here's the Republicans with their press briefing on the subject.
So there's a code word in there. There's some sort of
The
breaking eagle dawn.
the sleeping eagle falls at dawn.
Aw, I like eagles. I mean, you have to like eagles in this country.
Yeah.
But I like eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Is that 15 seconds?
I'll give you a second. Time's up. Okay,
Right.
go.
The president doesn't need to take direction from anybody on what he does. He should have the rule of law under his thumb, and if he wants to talk to the president of Russia in covert terms, based on previous relationships undisclosed to the United States of America government, then
CNN press here. What does Sleeping Eagle Falls at Dawn mean?
I'm sure it's a reference to their joint book collaboration that's going to be coming out in 3 years. 3 years from now, and everybody is it's going to be a bestseller on the New York Times list, and nobody is going to have anything to say about it.
Okay, good. You saved it with the book deal there.
Yeah.
That, like, the timeline doesn't quite match, because he may
I gave
still
him
be
3
president.
years,
Yeah,
like,
could
he's-
still be president. Maybe not. Yeah.
I mean,
You're right.
I was figuring at that point, like, he's going to cut and run. He's going to be, like, some sort of deputy minister in
Okay.
Russia, right? Like,
I'll give you a point for that. That was good.
thank you.
I believed it.
All right, I don't know if you're ready for this one, though.
I gotta clear my mind here a little bit. All right.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
It's my mantra.
If sometimes kids come up to me, they ask me, "What is it that you live your life by?" And the only thing that I can tell them,
Yeah.
"Woo!"
If only they could hear it in my head. Woo! Woo! All right, I'm ready. Give me this breaking news. Here we go. Spin cycles in session. Spin class starting now.
Yeah, we need some sort of like orchestrated overture to come into the breaking news. Yeah, I'll get on that one. This just in, MSNBC exclusive. Tiffany Trump is starting a new career as a porn star.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh wow. All right. Okay.
8 seconds.
Okay. All right.
4 seconds. Sir, what do you have to say about the new news about Tiffany's job placement.
I think we can hardly consider Tiffany a real Trump of the family. She's really done nothing for the family to support it in any way. I mean, look at the real key players here, Don Trump Jr. and the other one.
Oh, man.
They've been doing a lot of tremendous work. And Ivanka has just been fabulous. And her purses are also on sale. And also, I just want to point out the fact that Ivanka was not there at the inauguration. And even if she was, she wasn't there. And you just have to believe us. And yeah, really, the key story here is that Tiffany is just not one of the Trumps. She's not a key player. She had really little influence on anything to do with Trump.
I'm gonna call it and give you a full point on that one. Not only for the fact that you just immediately distance yourself from the problem point, but somehow you distracted it to Ivanka, and I wasn't sure if you were like misquoting the person or just bringing up some bullshit that she had done instead. I got really confused there.
That's the name of the game, dog.
But you brought it back to Tiffany, and then I was even more confused because at first I didn't think you knew what you were talking about. But then you answered the question.
That's more than they do half the time, seriously.
Yeah, so you do great. You're not helping your case. You're doing better. See, this is what I'm saying. This is the danger is, what would this country be like if these people were intelligent?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I fear for us if that was the case. But maybe they are the intelligent ones. I don't know, man. They're, like I said, like the skillful, the spin that they do on this stuff.
I'm
not saying that they're morally correct or someone that I want to hang out with, but they're smarter than we give them credit for. I'll give you that.
They're smarter than I give them
the
credit
politicians,
for, yes.
not necessarily the following. Not necessarily the followers, but
well, but okay, the followers get a pass because of, the law of big numbers and the bell curve and being able to blend into statistics. The people in Congress, they do not get a pass for being stupid. They definitely do not.
All right, we're tied now. We're tied, so 2 for 2.
2 on 2.
You ready for your next one?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
This is a good one, so.
Give me a second to refresher.
Okay. For anybody who's just tuning in on this podcast, meaning you downloaded the podcast and randomly skipped to this section.
Just happened to land on the recap.
Or you walked into the room and your homeboy's playing this. We're doing spin class, and the object of the game is to spin a headline. And so, you ready?
I am ready.
Breaking news. A photo has surfaced of Mike Pence kneeling when he was on the college football team protesting religious persecution during the national anthem. And coming up to the plate here is Sarah Huckabee Sanders with the reply. It seems like they're going to start here in about 15 seconds. Apparently there's going to be a Ric Flair woo when they're ready for it. When they're ready for it.
Bless her heart, she's going to have a hard time with this one. Woo! The office of the president will neither confirm or deny the existence of said photo of Mike Pence that is supposed to exist since 1962, but nobody has seen this picture before, and there are plenty of audiovisual technologies out there that can be utilized by enemies of the public to be able to make up a farce like this. As far as I know, the vice president is a stand-up citizen of the United States of America, and if he did this in his youth, he has learned a great lesson and now serves a perfect purpose in this country.
Oh my god, I want to give you like a hug for doing the
call me out of Sarah.
For doing the impersonation the entire time.
Sorry, really I couldn't do the eyebrow over the audio.
For the people listening at home, there was no eyebrow thing, so yeah, it was like half an impersonation. But you did commit to it, so thank you. That was very... Oh man, that's a point just for that. But good job. I want to say that making a conspiracy perfect, that it doesn't exist or this photo's fake or it's been photoshopped, that's perfect. And then I like how you backtracked and said, like, even if it was true, he learned his lesson. He's a true whatever now.
Because 3 days from now, when absolute proof of this being true comes out, I need something to go ahead and fall back on.
Oh wow. All right, full point for that.
If any of those Republicans out there are listening, we are learning.
We're gonna fight some fire with some fire.
Yeah. Fight fire with fire.
All right, all right,
round 3.
Me,
so it's 3 on 2. Did you give me a full point? Wow,
I give you a full point for that.
We're doing good at this game.
That was hilarious. Yeah.
I'll ask you. We were all super losing.
This is a game we can win at every time. Because you just have to lie.
There's something that Republicans love. It's winning, regardless of how
you just have to cheat. Then you win at this game.
Hey man, I like games you can just cheat at to win.
All right, lay it on me.
Man. Okay,
here we go.
Headline 3. Woo! All right, we need some sort of like Fox alert. You know how they have the alert?
Yeah.
So, breaking news! Eric Trump revealed this morning on Fox and Friends that he is actually a vampire.
All right, I got this one. Give me the lead in.
We're here live at the Department of Health and Human Services, listening in on the commentary on Eric Trump becoming a vampire.
This whole thing is a farce. It just shows you how Democrats can't take a joke. I mean, yes, he may be a bloodsucker. Yes, he might be what some consider vampiric in some ways, but a lot of people would say that that's a positive. And I think that's what we really need to focus on. He's hardworking because he has to essentially, be asleep all day and work all night. So he's already up during the hours when other people aren't around, and he's really getting to the crack, the breaking point of the real truth of the stories. And the blood sucking is not a bad thing either, and he's charismatic. He's someone who's undeniably just awesome on camera, and it doesn't matter if he can't see his own reflection because he just looks amazing all the time. And I just want to dispel any rumors that we have Transylvanian connections at all. And that's pretty much it. I think every U.S. citizen will now be supplied with a line of garlic that they will put on their house. This has nothing to do with this statement. It is just
Zero.
It's just something we're doing. We're trying to get food into the people's hands, and this is and garlic is just abundant. We have a lot of garlic farmers here in America, so we're going to supply everyone with some garlic. Oh, and some holy water, but that has also nothing to do with it. We're just a Christian nation, and we want everyone to be prepared for when the outbreak. Anyways, we're
gonna cut it there and report.
And the tape goes on for an hour longer. Tune in.
Yeah.
Tune in
C-SPAN
later
4.
tonight. Yeah. He keeps eating his hat here, Dave. For about another hour. He goes on to say that we will have crucifixion. We'll have crucifixes hanging over our windows for protection.
Looking delicious. So, I will give you bonus points for, at one point you said, he's really getting into crack. That was a gaff bomb on
Oh my god. I meant to say he was cracking the case, but did not come out right.
Getting into the crack.
He's getting into the crack. I would no, dude. Play the tapes again. Play that. I guess.
I'm gonna
say that differently. Yeah. I said cracks. He's getting into the cracks of stuff. The real truth.
But yeah, you did well. You turned it into a positive. You made him look like a hardworking American, that he works way harder than others because he's up in the middle of the night. You brought in an completely unrelated fact of new garlic restriction. garlic legislation.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Oh.
So we need a tiebreaker now.
Oh, I got one more for you still.
Oh, you motherfucker. It's not going to be that first one, is it? That one was way harder.
The hair and fire? No. This is arguably worse. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Interpol has determined that this transmission does not meet the requirements of decency deemed necessary to broadcast in the European Union or territories beyond its limits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad. You just like hit me like, oh, we're going easy the whole time. This is about to get brutal.
I wanted to step up the difficulty.
Dude, you went child, human shield, and president and press secretary affair.
I mean, that's how it goes in the spin class, man.
That's true.
You work hard at the front,
true.
but
Apparently,
you
I'm
gotta,
not.
You got to
cut
feel the
out
burn
for the real ones.
Yeah. Get
Well,
that cardio.
I say we call it at a draw.
Okay, fine.
And we'll have another round of this someday soon.
All right, sounds good. sounds less than adequate. Sounds satisfactory.
Satisfaction. All right. We want to take a break?
Yeah, sounds good. We're gonna do something here, play some music or something, and we'll be right back. Thanks.
New from MAGA Records, the latest in the Make Karaoke Great Again series, the greatest love songs of all time, Trump Edition. Enjoy all your favorite love ballads, now featuring corrected lyrics. Enjoy all of these classics and more. I Won't Always Love You. I Do Not Want to Hold Your Hand. I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. Plenty of Mountains High Enough. This Guy Isn't in Love with You. I Just Called to Say I Don't Love You. And more. Call in now and get a free MAGA Viagra pill case, because a porn star is just waiting to have an affair with you. So be ready. Send in your proof of purchase to participate in our Mexico rebate. No Mexico rebate, subject to completion, email, only direct. Order now.
And we're back.
So, the theme of today is allegiance.
That's a very big word.
Yeah, it actually is. Yeah. It's like a subtitle that would be like Star Trek 7 Allegiance.
Allegiance.
Mission Impossible 4.
Still not as good as Star Trek 4.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about the Pledge of Allegiance because that's something that we had to endure as kids growing up in the public school system.
I like that you use the word endure because that's exactly what it was.
I mean,
like daily?
yeah, it
really?
was, yeah.
Shouldn't it be special?
Yeah. There's just so many things going through my mind of like better things that we could be doing during those, 2 minutes we had to stand up every day and praise our nation. I don't know, forcefully.
I never understood it. Like when you're little,
Yeah.
you just see a flag. You don't see soldiers dying on a battlefield. You don't see women working in a factory. You see a piece of fabric hanging from the ceiling.
Well, I mean, if I were to get into it, I would say that that's why they made us do it from the time we were kids, because you don't question it when you're a kid at all. It's just like, oh yeah, this is something that I'm told to do right now and I have to do it. It's like there's no room, like you said, to actually try and figure out what the real meaning behind it is. And yeah, I mean, obviously there was times where we discussed some of that in school, like especially if there was ever any controversy behind it. I don't know, you were telling me that you actually sat it out and managed to deal with that.
The internet doesn't need to know that.
America doesn't need to know.
No, yeah, I actually consciously took opposition to... I will say that when I was growing up, I always liked to be like the black sheep or the odd one out, or I've always been a contrarian.
Yeah.
So seeing 32 children standing up, staring at the random piece of fabric in the corner of the classroom didn't necessarily appeal to me in its own right. It wasn't
Sure.
necessarily disrespect towards the country. Like,
Yeah.
it was not wanting to participate in rote obedience, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, that's how I look at it now. When I look back on all those times, it just was mechanical. Yeah, it was basically like, you must love the nation, stand up now, process love for nation, thank you.
Right, nation, love letter. Send love letter in mail.
I mean, okay, you had your way. You are the head honcho of the public schools now, and bunch
Oh
of,
yeah, they're all standing.
but that's what you want. That's the way you're gonna spend it. I was saying, like, what would you have them do instead during that time? You have a 10-minute gap, let's say, not even 10 minutes, 5 minutes gap, 5-minute gap to fill in where they used to do the Pledge of Allegiance and whatever else.
I mean, you can't do it that way. It wouldn't just be a gap of time, right? It would be, if I'm the superintendent of the school system is completely getting revamped. Like, there's no 5-minute gap. There's just no more class.
Everything is completely different, so it's just not even a possibility. Okay.
If you want me to jump to that.
If we want to play hypotheticals
That
here.
hypothetical, yeah.
Okay, so you're not the head honcho. You're an assistant principal who's now been tasked to come up with an alternative positive thing to do in the mornings instead of the Pledge of Allegiance because a bunch
Dude,
of parents
5 minutes
are
of
against
morning meditation?
it. Yeah,
Hell yeah. Instantaneously.
I think that is a very good idea, actually.
Dude, if I had that at work, I'd be I wouldn't be a lot happier, but I'd be happier.
I would imagine so. I mean, sure, there's going to be kids who probably would feel the same way you did, where they're like, oh, you can't force me to meditate, whatever. And then they're going to, like, think about stuff really intensely or, like, not
call
clear
it
their mind.
inflection time,
I'm not going to
like-
clear my mind. Fuck this guy. He's saying I got to clear my mind and meditate and focus on my breathing. I'm not going to focus on my
He
breathing
wants
at
me
all.
to think about everything. I'm going to think about everything.
Yeah. That's pretty positive though. Yeah, meditation would be nice. I think even just like if we're gonna talk about America and how, like, grateful for America and what it is, then that should be the focus of the pledge. It shouldn't just be, like you said, mechanical allegiance to this fabric. It should be
Right.
basically thinking like, what are you grateful for in America, and reflect on that time, and maybe even just to consider our existence in this world, that it's bigger than us, is probably what we really should be doing. That
Sure.
yes, we are America, and it could work like that. Like, think about America and what it means to be a person in our society, and the good and bad side of it, but also think about how we're just one little instance in this giant world, and how this world is just one little tiny grain of sand in this giant universe, and how everything is. And basically, we're getting back to meditating. So,
Well, but you bring up a really good point, and it all ties back to the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't know if many people know this, but the Pledge of Allegiance was originally written for any land, for any nation.
right, yeah, by a socialist. That's what you were telling me, right? Some socialist dude wrote this thing that he wanted everyone to be able to use,
Exactly.
like a socialist would.
Yeah, we'll throw the link up on the website, but this whole discussion of the Pledge of Allegiance brings you to Francis Bellamy, who in 1892 released this poem, and basically meant for it to let people really dwell on their nationalism and how proud they were of their people.
Mm-hmm.
But not just Americans.
Yeah, it was for any nation. You're
Yeah.
saying really that uphold these standards. That does the original version have liberty and justice for all in it?
So it does.
Okay.
If you want me to read the original,
Yeah, go ahead.
it read, I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very interesting. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, like, when you break it down like
Completely
that,
blank slate.
when you break it down like that and you remove God and you remove United States of America, right? Which all that stuff was added to later.
Which is the very shit that people get really mad about because that's the thing that they added. So of course they're mad about removing it. But we should be mad that they added it in the first place.
Yeah, we were talking about that, how it's just like people get so upset when you try and change something that's been, even though it's been changed like 5 times already. They're like, no, it's always been like this way, except for 50 years ago when it was different, but that's fine because it's always been like this for the last 50 years, so it should continue to be like this for the next 50 years. I don't know. Yeah, you got any other lines you want to add to that?
To the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, like
well, and that's my question. So if it was meant for all nations, should it just be Mad Lib's version? Everybody gets to make their own version of it.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of Armenia, and I find you gotta like counterbalance it now because they're not gonna let you take any lines away. But if you had to add a line in there to make it like, you know, bring it back a little bit or see the bigger picture to get kids to actually, you know, maybe consider some stuff in there. I think I might say like, with liberty and justice for all, and may other nations, our friends, our allies be blessed as well, or something like that. I don't know. If we're gonna
just like bring them all into the fold.
I could fly that into the radar because it's got like blessed in it, so I'll get the Christians behind it, and it's positive about the rest of the world, so...
You did add blessed in there.
Yeah.
That
world peace. That's what we should be fucking praying for every morning. Jesus. Like,
exactly. But we need to be first in that peace.
Yeah.
We need to be winning the peace.
Dear God, we want world peace, but we want to be the most peaceful ones.
We want to be more peaceful.
We want to be in your right hand.
Not the left hand.
So please.
Obviously not the crushed socialist hand.
We want world peace, but we want America to be the most peaceful, the peacefulest.
But how fucking ironic that this dude was a socialist.
Yeah.
And
funny.
we're totally always just making it the most patriotic thing that you can do.
I think it's time for a new era. We're learning all this, you know, with the poem that's on the Statue of Liberty. We're already getting some flack on that from the Republican Party. The Pledge of Allegiance, it's outdated. I don't know, man. National anthems, outdated. Could use a remix. Get R. Kelly on that. Get
it could be you know how like during the Our Father you have to stand up and kneel down, like we just put a part in the national anthem where people are supposed to kneel. That way they have the excuse to kneel.
We'll beat them at their own game. You want to kneel during national anthem? Well, now it's required of you. Now you all have to kneel.
Required.
Now you must kneel for the national anthem. That's the nationally recognized way of dealing with the national anthem.
You're gonna make it acceptable to be kneeling.
Man, that's kind of genius. Actually, they should do that. Get behind that one pretty easily.
Wow. Yeah. Anybody out there that's willing to start doing that? I don't go to football games, so.
So what do you think it means to be patriotic? What do you think it means to have allegiance to our nation in today's society?
See, for all the shit that I talk about the way that people behave in this country, I really do feel that I'm a true patriot. Like, I want this place to succeed. Mm-hmm. I know where we've come from. I know the talent that we have. I have so many friends that are beautiful people that have grown up in really great households, and yeah, that's not the thing that you see on the news or in the media, but it doesn't sell papers.
Yeah.
You know, like having a good family is not front page news, and that's the saddest part about our society. But not to digress, I will say that we live in a land of opportunity, and that is what I am patriotic for. We should never have to give that up. We should always have resources at our disposal to make the world a better place. And for the most part, we have those resources still, regardless of what we think.
I agree with that. I think it is patriotic to be able to recognize the strengths and the weaknesses of your nation. I don't think you would have almost so much criticisms if you didn't have some kind of passion behind it, and that comes from like the love of the nation, right? So you are grateful for what you have, and you love certain aspects about our culture and all that, and the reason why you're critical on some parts of it is because because of that love. You want it to be better, like you're saying. You want it to
Well,
be positive.
whoever said that being supportive meant not being critical? I've never understood that. Like,
Yeah, I
you
don't
look
understand
at
that.
you look at somebody like Donald Trump, and he's unwilling to accept his weaknesses. He's unwilling to accept his faults and the things that he's done wrong because he's so afraid of that. But that's really how you grow. You grow through failure, and there's intelligent, fast failure for a reason. We learn how to behave and how to progress. And there's this whole faction of society out there that's against acknowledging that.
Yeah, I mean the whole term "Make America Great Again" is regressive, right? That means we're going back to some way, right? And I get that. I'm not saying that we need to be progressive as in we need to be progressives, but I'm just saying that in general we want to be moving forward with wherever we're going in history, the way the pendulum, so it is said, is hitting or going or swinging or whatever, and taking stuff back in a different direction. Like you're even saying, like when parents don't want to do the praying before a football game, you know, that's something that they might have done as tradition forever, but you have to grow eventually and learn that, okay, well, not everyone in the stand is a Christian, and maybe that's not what we should be doing in front of these football games. If people want to pray before a football game, they can do it. They just don't have to do it at the football game. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
It's such a...
Well, and I don't even have a problem with people doing it at the football game. I have a problem with them being like, set aside time for me to do this in front of everybody because I have a right to that time. Like,
yeah. No, it's completely, selfish to think that as a Christian or whatever, you have special, I don't know, like special attention at every instance that has something to do with an American standard and culture, like football games or baseball games or whatever. And then like, oh, we have to include this aspect about it, you know?
But I like pivoting towards that concept of allegiance to religion.
Yeah.
Like,
like
that's exactly what you're talking about.
They added God to the Pledge of Allegiance, like we're saying.
Exactly.
They had to shoehorn it in, right? So,
no, but any religion, like, you're pledging allegiance to not just a belief, but a mode of behavior. And trying to get other people to behave in the same way. Mm-hmm. And so that leads to these kooky behaviors of, well, now I need to pray in front of you daily until you start praying like me. Like, when has that ever converted?
You think it's an assimilation kind of thing? Like,
it is,
yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
And that's what it is for any religion that depends on numbers to thrive.
Sure. No, that makes complete sense to me. Actually, that you put it that way. It's just basically like we're gonna get Christianity everywhere, and that's what they do all the time, anyways, right?
It's literally written in all of the books. Like, they're all cool until they believe their own thing. At that point, you need to make them believe our thing.
Do they do like NASCAR sponsorships? Cause
probably.
It's like, Jesus for NASCAR. Like, where does the line draw with Christianity just invading everything? Like,
the line was supposed to be Citizens United, and then that shit went right out the window.
There is a line though, right? Like, you don't see a church who just straight up says like, nope, I'm totally wrong. This is true. Like, everything I'm thinking of is actually
like, every time you come to an example, you can.
I'm like, no, wait, no.
They do that, yeah.
Like, I don't see any churches that are like, Jesus saves, call now, get saved. No, that's true.
That's there.
That's true. There's no like infomercials for Jesus. No, they're
all day. You can literally find a whole channel devoted to that.
What about music that's just for? Nope. Yep. That's been
There's actually a genre called Christian music.
There's Christian music. Yeah, a whole genre dedicated. Okay, what about movies? There's no movies that are just. Oh wait. Yep, it's there. So you're right. That Christianity has invaded everything. What about food? Untouched.
They definitely don't have like what are Hebrew hot dogs, like the Hebrew's best or whatever.
Yeah, kosher. You mean like that? Okay. Yeah, that's true. Is there any realm of like advertisement or like like culture that Christianity hasn't invaded yet? Like, underground industrial
Probably kawaii culture in Japan.
kawaii culture in
It's
Japan.
not much Christianity.
Hasn't been quite adapted by it yet. Are there any Christian animes?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of
What?
Christian thematics in anime. Definitely. Trigun. In Trigun, the dude has a cross that's a giant cross that he carries. That's
Yeah,
a gun.
but
like, come on.
I mean, but that has nothing to do with him being like a. I mean, he's like a traveling preacher, but he's like Desperado.
He's actually
or
a bounty hunter.
mariachi. Yeah. So, but I can see what you're saying. But what I mean is there like anime where it's like, oh, Jesus on.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure the internet will find our answer.
I don't know. Are there any role models for you that stick out as being true patriots in America for you in the last, I don't know, couple decades or anything like that? Because there's no good examples right now for me. Like in the last 2 years, I'd say like one person that I could say maybe a true patriot in my eyes at this point might be McCain, just because he's stood up against Trump several times.
He's racked himself through the fire so many times. And yeah, okay. John McCain's footage of when he turned down that bill.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the healthcare.
The healthcare overhaul.
Yeah, the overrule. The, like, we're just going to slap a different name on it and say Trump did it and it will be great.
Like, I've never seen someone his age flip somebody off with their thumb.
Bam!
Bam! Just down.
Gladiator
And then he
style.
walked away. He just looked at everybody and was like, fuck you guys.
Anybody else? I mean,
it's hard to find a patriot. Like,
yeah.
And that's the hard part, is you have to define patriotism in a really narrow scope to find somebody that's going to fit your definition here.
I mean, Snowden, what do you think about that? Like, was he a true patriot for America? Is that something that do you think he should have done all the leaks? He should have been releasing that info to the people?
Do I think he should have done it? Yes. Do I think that those systems are necessary? Kind of.
Yeah, monitoring and the surveillance, all that stuff.
And only for the fact that obviously the intelligence community would know if Russia is hacking things, because we can literally see everything that's happening most places on the internet. So of course that information is there. Like, I don't believe for a second the narrative that the Russians had nothing to do with hacking the elections.
How accurate can all this surveillance and monitoring really be when there's so many sources? How do they really, like, okay, just in the national defense, they're trying to weed out terrorists. Is it that effective where they're able to find these terrorists a lot easier now? Or because also in a lot of examples I've heard of them finding leads or finding stuff that might be bad, and they go and talk to him and they're like, meh, he seems okay, and then 12 months later it's like a mass shooting or some crazy thing like that.
Well,
right?
and okay, so you bring up an interesting pivot point, because the national security apparatus was designed to spot foreign infiltration. And that's like the whole role of these different security agencies, is to make sure that other people aren't coming here and destroying our government. Whereas, like you said, like with somebody who's 18 years old, they're just a little kooky in the head, and all of a sudden they're buying a bunch of weaponry. It wasn't built to find those people. You know, we would have to literally redirect the entire structure of this backbone of information to be able to detect those types of things. So yeah, it's something that is useful, but it is something that was designed with the wrong purpose in mind.
This is how you would sell me on national security in the sense of monitoring and surveillance. You could avoid the next 9/11 with this technology. Do you think it's that effective?
I don't think that there's any way to avoid that. I don't think that like the more,
But
like,
isn't
if
that
you
the
had,
justification for all this, though? Really?
Yeah, it is the justification for all of it. But I think there's gonna be one-off events that happen like that. But what you're really trying to prevent is the internet from running amok and some sort of gang or terrorist cell actually getting a huge foothold and like taking over a community or taking over a city or something like that. You know, if there was no regulation on any of this, there is very likely like the seeds fomenting in society right now of people just being really pissed. Thanks, Donald Trump.
Do you think anybody has listened to your phone conversations?
Do I think I've been monitored? Probably. Do I think that it was because I was being targeted? No.
Do you think the person on the receiving end was laughing their ass off on whatever you were talking about?
I don't know if somebody actually heard it, but whether or not I've actually been swept up in some of those communications, I think we all have. I think that's the risk that we run just having a phone, right? Like,
oh yeah. I mean, I guess in my mind, and I don't know why I thought this is completely stupid to think this, but I just imagine it's like chat roulette over there, and they just like click a button, and it's like some random cell phone, it's some random like email line, it's some random Skype conversation or something like that, and they're like, yeah, well, we found out that the best way to find these terrorists is just with Las Vegas odds. Basically, you just press this button, you get a random phone call, and it's like surprisingly way more
entertaining than anything that you can find on the internet.
Surprisingly more likely that you'll find terrorist activity randomly than if we follow leads. So I just imagine pressing a button and then
okay, but that's the big lie of all of this. I'm glad you came back to all of that, because there are fewer people that die due to terrorist acts every year than shit like lightning strikes. Like, it is so rare to die in a terrorist attack. And compared to diabetes or heart disease or something like that, and we spend trillions of dollars a year on defense against terrorism, and we spend nowhere close to that amount on healthcare or heart disease prevention or anything like that. So it's not a numbers game. It's not trying to save people. If you think that the government is out there trying to fucking save you from a terrorist spending trillions of dollars on your ass just to keep you alive, you're a dumbass. Because that's stupid. If I'm complaining about a veteran taking up $100,000 a year in tax subsidies, but I'm going to spend $10 million a year keeping him alive against terrorism, that is not a threat at all. How the fuck does that make any sense?
No, it doesn't make any sense. You're right. Yeah.
Sorry, I get super pissed about that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just naive to this idea that we're constant threat of stuff like 9/11. I don't know. Like, I just don't think that's something that really resonated with me ever. Just feeling like that pressure of being under, terrorist attack could happen at any moment. It's not as insane as they paint it out to be, especially after 9/11. There has been pretty few, and maybe, I don't know, like I'm saying, maybe I'm being naive, and maybe the national security actually stops a lot of these potential ones to happen, and there would be a lot more if we didn't have all that money in defense and homeland security and all that stuff. But from what you're saying, it doesn't feel like a threat to me at all.
Right.
It's literally the last thing I ever think about when I step outside of my house to go to work or to drive or do anything. I'm not worried about it, but guaranteed if I'm getting on a plane, the thought that plane might crash comes across my mind several times.
Right, yeah, exactly. But it's more so from the maintenance schedule of the aircraft than somebody coming in with a shoe bomb trying to blow your ass out of the sky.
It has 100% to do with how old some of those planes are, how drunk the pilot is, and whether or not there's going to be a lot of birds flying around and that will get sucked up into the engine. So,
yeah.
0% about a terrorist hijacking it or anything like that.
You're just giving me all kinds of flashbacks about my last plane.
Oh, sorry. From undisclosed.
Yeah, shout out to undisclosed airline for not killing me the last time I flew. But yeah, ultimately, we spend okay, my example here is that we're spending loads of money on each of us being protected against terrorism. That's insignificant to the amount of money that's been spent on each of us being protected against nuclear war. That's never happened, and hopefully will never happen, because why does there need to be a nuclear war? There literally needs to be no nuclear weapons. There should not be any whatsoever. It does not need to exist. They're weapons that are just too powerful to be effective.
I do believe at some point during this century we'll have something that, and I know we already do in some sense, some bombs that are bigger than the traditional nuclear bomb, but I think we'll have some weapon that will far surpass that we couldn't imagine. That will be just something completely crazy that will be the next nuclear bomb, because it's an escalation game at this point, right? We have hydrogen bombs, we have all these other things from when we first dropped the initial bombs, that they're just getting bigger and badder. But what I'm talking about is something that's just completely like ridiculous, that we couldn't even comprehend, because I don't think they could really comprehend the nuclear bomb before that started happening, right? I mean people couldn't, but physics sure
had figured it out.
There's theories, there's people who thought about it maybe, but the general
and
population
there are
didn't have
theories about weapons that would be more powerful than nuclear weapons. You are right, but I guess the fact that something is possible doesn't mean that it's necessary.
Sure. Yeah.
The fact that I can make a nuclear weapon that demolishes a few buildings, or I can make a nuclear weapon that demolishes half of a country, and all I have to do is scale the same materials. That's a little fucking scary, because then there's no upward limit to the size of these things that you can make. The real scale limit is the amount of air that it's pushing into space.
Okay, wow.
So at a certain point, it just gets so powerful that the same amount of air is just being raised into space. And so you're just expending more energy to not really have any effect,
So basically what you're telling me is that there's a cap to it, that it can only be so crazy. And yeah, I think that's true, and that's what I'm saying. I think like whatever next threat that we have, it's going to be something different than that, such as like gene editing, or like,
well, and that's what I'm saying. Go the other way, go down, go towards instead of roofing you, I'm gonna CRISPR you, and that shit's literally just gonna go in your brain and rewire a couple of things, and now you're a Russian operative until you die of some crazy cancer.
I think just like CRISPRing people, or getting into like sterilizing whole groups of people or something like that through gene editing, or I don't know. There's just so many different ways.
Wow. Yeah, that's sad to think about. Like, everybody's like, oh, it's the new thing, and we're going to be able to make all these changes. Like, I saw this news article about whenever you make a change, there's spontaneous mutations around the DNA. Who knows what's happening out there? Like,
we don't know.
There's no way.
No.
Like, I could edit one of your genes and accidentally make you a crazy mutant. Like...
Cronenberg version.
So I'm way more afraid of being turned into a Cronenberg by the next nuclear weapon and actually annihilated by it.
Or like if they like came out and said like, we can time travel now, you're all fucked. If you do anything bad to America, we're gonna go back in time and make sure that Russia doesn't even exist.
Just a time travel weapon, but it's theoretical.
Yeah,
we haven't used it.
No, like they would totally just be like, all right, we're gonna prove it to you, and they're gonna be like, God, that would be like impossible to prove, but
yeah, we're gonna prove it to you without showing any proof or using it.
Maybe that's what we should be spending our money on, because that's, if you could convince people that we have time travel abilities, that would save us a lot of time, a lot of effort.
Dear Russia, we have a really powerful weapon that you can't even imagine.
Dear Russia, if you're reading this, we went back in time and invented paper so that we could write this so you could read it.
Please get rid of nuclear weapons. Or else we'll use it against you.
We're going to go back in time and make sure your mom and dad don't fall in love like Back to the Future.
I like how you came back to I was finally stopping, like, not thinking about Trump, and that whole movie is about. How did they predict this whole scenario? They even predicted the Cubs game. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, really,
even though they lost,
we're really talking about the second movie here, right? We're talking about Biff.
I'm just talking about
to Donald Trump.
I don't even know which one it is anymore because it's all one big blur of what the fuck. How did they predict that? I just wish that Star Trek 4 would be a prediction and we get whales in space.
Only one way to find out, man. All right, well...
but with that, I think we should wrap it up.
Join us next week.
My allegiance is to whales in space.
I pledge allegiance to the whale or overlords in space who hold our destiny in their fins. Please unite us as one peon.
So, shout out to anybody that made it this far, because I don't even know what we were talking about.
Have a good night.